Coming Up Roses. I'm Kevin.
And I'm Kelly, and this is your Saturday, February 19th edition, episode 50 of Coming Up Roses.
The Big 5-0.
The Big 5-0.
Coming up on 1 year of recording.
Yep. We're getting there 1 week at a time, chugging to that 1 year.
Yeah.
Kevin's still listening back to our...
Yeah, I've been listening through in chronological order, taking notes so that when we talk about it on the 52nd episode, I'm the one that's prepping for it. So there you go, folks. Something different. There you go.
Buckle your seats, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. I've kind of gotten through. Right now, I got up to episode 17, which actually I had to go through Kelly's Facebook because we did a Facebook Live one time after a hard row of bad recording situations. We ended up just doing a Facebook Live, which it started out we were real haggard. But by the end of it, it ended up pretty well. And I think a lot of that had to do with that we had some interaction with a couple of people that were watching live. So that's cool. That may be something we should do at least once in a while.
No.
No. All right. Big no on that.
Big no on that. So this week was the trifecta of fun. It was Valentine's Day, followed by a full moon, followed by the 100th day of school. And for all my teacher friends out there, especially of the little kids, that's the trifecta of fun.
There you go.
So let me show you some of my my Valentine's Day haul, okay? So.
Now, let me tell you something before she starts showing the stuff. This is the downside to being married to a school teacher, particularly an elementary school teacher, because
that's a
Valentine's
downside?
Day. Yeah, because there's no way I can compete with the 5-year-olds. 5-year-olds are always going to beat me on Valentine's Day.
I just wanted to mention that not one of them brought me any jewelry.
Yeah, well, goddamn, I'm a po.
Kidding.
Yeah.
Could tell the stories here. All right, so I got this.
Woohoo.
Best Teacher Ever water mug, and it has a little, I don't know what it has in it.
That might be a gift card somewhere.
It's not. It's like a little keychain with a heart on it and a little pad that says Best Teacher Ever. I need to open that pretty soon. Mm-hmm. So I got that.
Nice.
And I got this nice little coffee mug.
That is a good size,
with an
too.
R on it for a really great teacher, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm sure that's what it is. It can't be rose or anything like that.
And then I got this one that says, let all that you do be done in love on one side. And on the other side, it says, it takes a big heart to shape little minds. So that's a really nice little mug. I like that one.
It's a good size, too.
We have so many mugs.
Yeah.
And then I got a Dove bar, a Dove chocolate heart, and I got some Russell Stover's chocolates, and I got some Russell Stover's chocolates, and then I got some Russell Stover's chocolates, and then I got some Lugano Brazilian truffles. I have a student whose mom is from Brazil, and she brings me Brazilian chocolates on.
That's the little girl that saw Encanto.
She saw Encanto. And then
snap.
these. Okay, you have to try this one. These are little like truffles, and they're hazelnut and milk chocolate and
I thought these
coffee
was,
flavor.
All right, hold on.
You getting the coffee in that? Right?
That's really good.
And then I got this really cute little mailbox stuffed with
You've got mail.
some cute little socks.
Kelly, I like that.
Yeah, what do they say? Aw, it says love to hang out with you. When I first saw it, I did not think that I thought I had a curse word on it. And some candy in there. So I made out like a champ. And then I got a big giant, I didn't even tell you about this, a big giant stuffed rose. Like it's like
Really?
Huge, yeah.
It's in your classroom?
On a long stem rose. Yeah, it's in my classroom. It's wrapped around the bracket where my TV is.
Oh, that's cool.
And nobody's messed with it.
It sounds like the
I got a red one and Robin got a yellow one. Super cool.
That's cool.
So Valentine's Day, to give you a picture, give you an idea of what Valentine's Day in kindergarten looks like in reality, because in your head you're like, oh, they're all so cute, and they're giving their friends little valentines, and it just must be so sweet. And it is. It is very sweet. But it is an actual tornado of activity. Because I believe that the kids should write their, who they're giving the Valentines to, they should write their name on it.
Yeah.
A lot of teachers are like, don't write the other kids' names on it, just write who it's from, and so you can just drop them in bags. But I'm like, no. And 100% of the parents wrote the names on there, which is fine. But the kids have to actually try to read the names and then match the names up with the bag. And there is, you know.
Because you push your kids. You push your kids.
I'm not pushing. I just think it's, if I was getting Valentines, I'd want them with my name on it.
Yeah.
You know. And then you're not like doubling up, because if they don't have names on them, how do you know? They don't organize. They just wander.
Yeah.
So everybody got their Valentines out, and all the kids had like their little bag on their table, and it was just about 15, 20 minutes of sheer tornado force activity, helping them read names, making sure everybody's stuff, trying to get them not to go through all their candy, which was a sheer miracle in itself. And then the calm ended, and they all packed their stuff away in their book bags without going through it, which was a win. I count that as a win. We were exhausted. Then yesterday or today, one of those 2 days, was a full moon, which again has an effect.
Yeah.
On people, but especially little ones. And then it was the 100th day of school today, so we did the 10 by 10 construction company, and we were building our way to 100 days. And they all had their own little hard hats and their own little safety vests, and they had a badge with their picture on it. And we had safety inspections, and they had to complete jobs.
Yeah.
The whole day was, we totally ditched our routine schedule, and we just did these tasks all day long. And it was actually really good. We had a good day. I thought it would be hectic, which it was at points, and I did hit a wall at about 2 o'clock where I was just like, I don't know how much more I can listen to. But all in all, they did very well.
Well, that's good. That's good.
And they took home their hard hats and their vests. I let them take the vests, because once they put them on and I saw how cute it was, like, how can I not let them take these things home? So I'll have to buy them again next year, I guess. But yeah, so
that's all right. That wasn't. I mean, altogether, that wasn't too expensive either.
it was about $50.
Yeah. You know, I don't mind that.
Well, good thing it's a good thing, because I spent the money.
But I'll tell you what, if you guys want to help out, Cash App, $KRose74.
Oh, the kids had fun.
Or no, VA, not 74, it's VA. Shit. Go ahead.
Don't give out someone else's Cash App now. One of these days, watch you open your Cash App, there'll be like $150 in there.
I haven't even looked at my Cash App.
I know, you don't even look at it. Yeah, so the kids went home with lots of fun. We took tons of pictures, so it was cute. And now that's behind us. We have 80 more days of school until vacation.
Yeah. Well, wait a minute. I do have a notice in here.
Uh-oh. You have $2.76 in your Cash App account. How do you have $2.76.7?
Uh-huh.
That doesn't seem right to me, Cash App. This is riveting, Kevin.
Yeah. I don't get it. All right, well.
They take a piece of everything.
Yeah, but what is... Well, let me find out what my thing is.
Kevin, come on.
Yeah. Is $ K Rose VA.
In case you want to fund some project for my kids, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Help a kid out. Help a kindergartner out.
So anyway, this was the week. Is Hell Week.
Yeah.
One thing I did realize today, though, is there's a push to start school before Labor Day here in Virginia Beach for the first time ever.
Yeah.
I mean, when I went through school, we always start after Labor Day.
And it has to do with a lot of, in Virginia, there's a lot of tourist.
Virginia Beach
is
a tourist town.
All over the state, Williamsburg.
Yes, but we are one of the only ones that still go after Labor Day.
Yeah.
Most everyone else has made the switch. The thing is, we go before Labor Day, but we still get out at the same time.
Which is crazy. Well, they're giving you a little bit more time.
Breaks.
Yeah, longer breaks. Which that's nice.
Yeah. I'm hoping the 100th Day and Valentine's Day don't land in the same week.
Yeah.
Again, because that's a lot. So anyway, my Valentine's Day haul over here, it looks like the Hallmark store blew up on the dining room table, and I have a lot of chocolate to eat between now and whenever. So that's good. I'm going to break into some of those truffles in a bit.
Yeah, I know. That coffee one was really good.
Yeah. And then, of course, my brother's birthday is Valentine's Day, so...
Yep,
we
Mom
spent...
made spaghetti, well, not spaghetti, rigatoni with meatballs and sausage, which was turkey sausage, which was actually really, really good. The turkey sausage
I don't know,
was really,
I didn't
really
eat
good.
it. I don't eat pasta.
Yeah.
So we had a plan for this week's show. Mm-hmm. We had it all worked out, what we were going to talk about, what our topic was going to be. And then we realized that our anniversary is also this week.
Yeah. The 15th, the big one.
Not the 15th. The 17th of February, but it's our 15th anniversary.
Yeah. So
yeah. A decade and a half of the Rose couple here. So we just thought we would reminisce a little bit about our wedding.
Yeah. And to lead up to it, and the everything involved. Do you want to start with the engagement?
I think we've told the engagement story before.
I think I'm pretty sure we did.
Yeah, Kevin and really, you like to tell that story because it makes me look like a complete.
I didn't. Well, if you go all the way back, I think it was the very first episode. We talked about it in detail, but essentially, I knew I was going to pop the question. She knew I was going to pop the question. The question was when. And as a joke, I was talking about doing it at the circus. And she finally started believing me, oh shit, this asshole's going to do it at the circus.
And I hate the circus.
Yeah,
I hate clowns. Circus, so. I do not like the circus. I'm not,
And ended up, because her sister Jen was in town, I made a arrangement to happen at the TGI Fridays where we had our second date. The place is gone now. Now they're putting up
along with all of our family.
Yeah,
who were all there, and I didn't even notice when we walked in.
Yeah.
I was too busy being pissed off.
Was Jinx's car or something like that.
I did notice Jinx's car in the parking lot, but I never connected anything. I was just too busy being mad.
Yeah.
And then they stuck us at a little table, and I was even more mad. And then they started singing, and I thought they were singing happy birthday to someone, and I was even more irritated to just find out that it was a cake that said, please say yes. And they put it down in front of my sister at the table.
and then she quickly just shuffled it on.
Yeah. And then, Kevin's then down on one knee, and of course I said yes, and I turn around, and all of our family that's here and our friends were just packed all on one side of the restaurant, so...
Then we scooted over to because they sat us down, there were 6 of us, and they sat us down at a foretop in a little, dugout that was, not great.
I hated it.
And, you
I need space. I do not like to be cramped in anywhere.
You were super pissed.
I was very mad.
And then we got moved over to where we had one of those cubbies all to our own and laid out in such a way that we weren't on top of each other. It was nice.
I almost just broke my 2 bugs.
Oh, Jesus. So... She got the ring. Showed the ring.
Kevin, I mean...
And then there it was. Game on. Planning.
Yeah, and when we first started talking about where we wanted to get married, neither Kevin nor I are
deeply religious.
I mean, we both have faiths that we adhere to. But as far as organized religion goes, I was raised Catholic, and I mean, I love the Catholic Church. I love the traditions of the Catholic Church, and the ceremony itself. But I've had a little bit of a rocky road through my life with priests at the Catholic Church. And if it was just one priest that I could say, well, that priest was just not great, that would be one thing. But it was a kind of a repeating story in my life in the Catholic Church as a young person.
Yeah.
And so when I did find a priest that I really, really liked, it wasn't long before they moved him out and replaced the priest that we had a bad interaction with at another church. The first time we met with the priest at the church that we are members of, I said, I am not, I don't want to say I'm not Catholic. That's not true, because that still is my religion.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just not a practicing church-going Catholic because of these issues, and I laid it all out for him.
Yeah, you were very honest with
him,
right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And he said, we're going to get it right this time. And I was like, okay. And he was wrong.
The man liked to hit me, too.
It wasn't...
Every time I was there, he hit me.
He was playful with you. Like, that, he wasn't punching you. But... So there was some talk about where we were going to get married at first, and that really... It had to, it just had to be at a church that just seemed like the right place.
And it really didn't matter to me at all. I mean, we came up, if anything, Baptist. My mom was Catholic, but she didn't practice at all. And my dad was religious, but he was content with watching it on Sunday on the television, and that was good enough for Pop. So, and he read the Bible every day and everything. And
I mean, and I grew up in Sunday school. My mom taught CCD. We were in church every Sunday. That's a part of my growing up.
Yeah.
Just as I got older, it's a long and complicated story.
It is what it is.
Through the process of meeting with him, the first thing that kind of, I just was like, what is weird? We had to fill out paperwork, obviously. And when we came to our address, of course, we were living together.
Yeah.
And so we both put the same address. And he said to Kevin, do you have another address you could use?
Which I did.
And so we were like, well, I mean, he's got a house in Suffolk, but he doesn't live there. We're going to put that address. So it didn't really matter that we were living together. It just mattered that it had to look like we weren't, which didn't really sit well with me. Because what's the point?
It's semantics, but I mean, I guess, yeah. But again, it wasn't a difficult thing to do. We threw an address up there.
Yeah, I mean, that was fine. And then he was after me pretty hardcore through the entire process about confession.
Yeah, I remember that.
I am not a big believer in confession. I don't believe in confessing to my priest. And I say this with much mad respect for my family, who was all, my dad's side of the family. The majority of them are Catholic. I just, for me, feel like if I've sinned against somebody, I don't need a priest to be the middleman. And historically, I feel like that was put in place in order to control the masses. If you go back, the priest knew all the dirty little secrets in order to control people. And so I just feel like I can directly go to God or to the person I sinned against if I feel like I need to confess something. So I really wasn't big on doing that. I didn't feel the need, and he was very uncomfortable marrying us without that.
Yeah.
He did it anyway.
Well, they got their rules, so you got to follow their rules.
Come on, get with the times. And this is my opinion. like I said, this is just strictly me. And then he just, after that, kind of, he was...
He wasn't the most excitable.
I mean, he did, and the wedding was beautiful.
The wedding was beautiful, yeah.
And we did go to the Catholic Engaged Encounter weekend.
Which honestly...
Which was probably one of the best experiences we had.
Yeah. I mean,
before we got married.
Basically, they used to have, apparently, they were saying, I think your mom was telling me, it was like a 6-week thing. They boiled it down to like a weekend. And we had to take the trip to, it was out by Reagan International. Mm-hmm. I remember it was Hilton at the Reagan International. And we weren't allowed to sleep in the same room.
We were the only ones who weren't sleeping in the same room.
Yeah, because,
we follow the rules.
We followed the rules, and I even said to her, because as much as I'd love to have broken the rules, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to respect their rules while we're here this weekend.
And we had roommates. My roommate I never met, because she was probably in her fiance's room.
Yeah.
Did you ever meet your roommate?
He was there for a few minutes, and then he said, well, I'm going out to, check some things out. And I was like, yeah, I know where you're going. And
he never came back?
No. But the other thing was that, we were the second oldest couple there. There was a couple that were older than us, like they were in their late 40s.
No, I don't remember.
Yeah, the engineer and the woman he was marrying.
Now you remember little details like that. I do not remember those little details.
And everybody else was in their early 20s. It was bizarre, because we were in our.
I mean,
30s.
I was in my mid-30s when we got married.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. It was really good, though, because it gave us a chance to reflect on a lot of things and consider a lot of things and communicate a lot of things that we probably wouldn't have communicated in that way. I mean, Kevin and I have been a perfect match since pretty much day one. Mm-hmm. We haven't had a lot of challenges in our relationship.
I think that we got a lot out of that, though. I really do.
I do, too.
But I tell you, there was some fun involved, too, because we had to take these notebooks where we write, and then part of it was they'd give us an assignment to write about, and then we'd have to go and exchange notebooks and read what each of us wrote and talk about it. And, that's actually a nice thing to do. It's probably something that we probably could do.
We probably should still do that.
And that's something that people should do with your partner. Get a subject, write something out, exchange it, and then talk about it. So...
What was shocking to me was the number of people who had not had the discussion about children or finances.
Finances and children they weren't talking about.
Yeah.
They were worried about things like, what should we, ask for on
our registry.
And I was like, register with Wells Fargo, which was before, it was actually Wachovia or something, whatever at the time. But anyway, we had a great time with that. There was one thing they were trying to push instead of condoms and whatnot. They were doing the whole rhythm thing.
Natural family planning.
Yeah, where they stick your finger in it.
And it was really funny because the couple that was teaching it were talking about how they had decided to wait 5 years or something before they had children. And so they practiced this, and then 3 years into it, they just
I changed my mind. We just
decided
to change our mind. So when I wrote that down, I was like, this guy fucked up.
The planning didn't work. God had his way anyway. But so that was good.
It was it was an enjoyable weekend, and it was, I think, honestly, something like that is something that people should do.
Yeah.
Maybe not necessarily for
not
Catholics,
religious necessarily, but definitely some sort of couples counseling or something.
Yeah, it's just a means of hashing out stuff that you might not have thought about. Mm-hmm. Like these 20-something-year-olds didn't even go over the basic stuff, but there was some stuff in there, some deep stuff that we didn't talk about, and it was like, okay, and then we talked about it. It was just a good experience.
Yeah. Oh, that was the other thing the priest didn't like, that we weren't planning to have children.
Yeah. Well,
yeah. But anyway. So actually wedding planning was I completely enjoyed the wedding planning process.
Yeah.
I liked putting everything together and having the theme and
it wasn't that I didn't want to help. It's just that I suck at it so bad and I don't know anything. I don't know.
You helped pick things like music and food and decorations. Like you picked the the ice sculpture.
The
That
ice
was your
sculpture
thing,
was
and it
that
was
my
really
deal. That
nice.
was
We had
nice.
an ice sculpture of the Cape Hatteras Lighthouse because his family was from Hatteras. It was kind of like a lighthouses became a kind of central thing for us, and still are. I feel like that whole, like, you're the light in the dark, you know, like that's gonna always beacon me home.
Yeah.
That just kind of always, whenever I see lighthouses, I think about our relationship. So they became kind of central to and we had each table was named after a different lighthouse.
And we had our centerpieces were lighthouses.
Right. It was
ceramic
like, and
lighthouses.
pictures with information about that particular lighthouse. And
Because we wanted each table to have, you know, a lot of weddings do this now, but you'd have a centerpiece that somebody at the table, and they worked it out themselves, whether it was a knife fight or if they, you know, whatever.
a knife fight. That escalated quickly.
Yeah. So we
Brick
wanted
killed a guy.
that centerpiece to be something that people were like, hell yeah, I want that centerpiece. And we did ceramic, we found a bunch of ceramic lighthouses, different ones.
You know, back when the Williamsburg pottery was actually the Williamsburg pottery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we found like little pedestals, and you did some great stuff. Like you found some netting to put on them.
We made all the centerpieces.
was
They were really
nice.
pretty. We didn't even get one.
Yeah, we did.
I know I go to like
My mom got
some
one.
friends' houses and families' houses, and I'm like, oh, you got one. We didn't even get one.
Jill and Eva got one, didn't they?
And we did. I don't think so. I know my sister got one.
My mom got one.
Anyway, we got married at 6 o'clock at night because I had always wanted an evening wedding. I didn't want to have to be sweating.
Yeah.
So we got married in February because I did not want it to be hot. It actually snowed a little bit on our wedding day, which was perfect. And we got married, and then we had our reception at a club on Dam Neck Base overlooking the ocean, and it all twinkle lighted up. It was really, really pretty.
It was really nice.
Very
It was
pretty.
really nice. The wedding itself
Was long.
was long. It was a
Lot of
full
singing.
Catholic mass.
It was not a
without
full
the-
Catholic mass.
No.
It wasn't. There
Well,
was no.
there was no bread and wine or whatever. But we had a bagpiper that would bagpipe people in.
And then piped us out. That was so awesome.
Yeah, that was really good. And then the wedding itself was great. They wouldn't allow us to do like the flowers and all of that, but we still had a flower girl, Rebecca, who's Richard's daughter, who at the time she was, what, 7?
I don't know.
I can't remember how. Her name's Rebecca. Her middle name's Rose, she was basically named after me, which is awesome.
And then Liam was our ring bearer,
And he was great. He was so funny the night before when we were doing the rehearsal. You remember this? He's a kid. He's
he
like
was like
maybe
maybe 2,
yeah
if even.
3. Yeah, because Cole was 2, so
No,
he was 3.
No, Cole was like 10 months maybe, so he was maybe 2.
Yeah. Well, Cole was walking,
Either way, they
Yeah.
were not school age yet.
and he's being a kid, and Dr. Biber was standing and talking to
He
us.
was
and
2. He's 17 now. We've been married 15 years.
Yeah, there you go. He comes over, basically starts sitting on the man's shoes, and then he's doing this now. He's looking up at him, going, ah.
And there was like an X in tape, like on the carpet, I guess, to like mark where people should stand. And he had his head on it, and he was like going around in circles on it and stuff. It was really funny.
It was really funny. But come the
And
day
he
of,
wouldn't hold the pillow.
yeah.
No pillow. No
pillow.
pillow.
Come the
Like,
day of, we're
okay.
like, well, whatever he does, we're not going to put the actual ring on his pillow, so because he'll just fling it like a frisbee and hit somebody in the face. But
So sweet. One of my favorite pictures from the wedding
yeah,
was the priest like talking to them when they got up to the
yeah,
front.
because whatever it was, the switch came on. Here's the girl. He's holding her hand. They go up to the front. Perfect. They
They
look
did
perfect.
such a good job.
And then Father Biber bends down. He's giving them the cheery little talk, shuffles them to the side. I look up from looking at that, and then that's when I first saw you, and it was gorgeous. You were gorgeous with your dad. It was great.
Really good wedding. We had a very fun wedding, and we went out with kazoos. And
then,
so that was a lot of fun.
Yeah. And then we had a reception, and that's where the ice sculpture was. And it had all the traditional stuff. Dance with the mom, dance with the dad.
Yeah, all that stuff. We had all
First
that.
dance. You did a lot of dancing. I'm not great at dancing, so I did more of the hobnobbing.
Yeah.
So I went all around to the different tables, and we had tables that were set up for like your dad's signed people.
Yeah,
and
I mean,
a bunch of
everybody
your-
does that at the wedding, and it was a good time. We had an open bar, so I think everybody had fun.
Yeah.
That was one of the non-negotiables.
Yeah, we had to have an open
I had
bar.
to have an open bar.
The food I remember was very good, but I can't remember what it was.
I don't remember the food at all. I don't remember. I remember what the cake looked like, but I don't remember how it tasted.
Yeah.
It's just those things you get so wrapped up in everything, and then the day goes by so fast.
The only thing I regret about that whole thing, though, was at the reception, we had mapped out where the families were supposed to be. And I don't know how it happened, but my mom and dad and the rest of the immediates were somehow shuffled into a corner table away from us. And I'm like, how the hell did that happen? But by the time everybody got seated, I was like, it was too late to do anything about it. But I was
I think
just like,
whoever set the room up for us didn't follow the map the way we had it planned out. Actually, probably in reality with your dad, it probably ended up being better because it was a little quieter over there.
Yeah.
And then we had our best moment of the day
Riding in
when
the
we
car.
left the reception and we got into the car. We were driven back to the hotel, and it was so peaceful and quiet in the car after this day of like so much fun. And I can't really think of anything that went wrong. Like,
No.
I think that there was a moment where they wouldn't let the people in because we were on a Navy base, for the reception, and they wouldn't let the people who were setting up for us in. They wouldn't let them through the gate. And there was a call like, we can't get in there to set up because, they're not letting us in. So, but Dad took care of that. He's like, don't even worry, I'll take care of that. So that got sorted out. I didn't even think about it. But getting in the car and having that 10, 15 minutes of like decompression and quiet, it was the nicest probably 15 minutes that I've had in my life.
It was very good. It was awesome.
Yeah, it was like all this work paid off. We had a great time.
Our guests had a great time.
We were married.
We had booked a bunch of rooms, or helped people book a bunch of rooms cheap at the Ramada on 5th Street. So it was nice. We got their nice suite.
We did little goodie gift bags for them at the hotel and stuff. I still have pens and pads of paper that say Kelly and Kevin and the date on them.
With the date on
The
it.
pens still work.
Yeah.
15 years later. We hired a photographer. One of the things when we were planning, I did not want a photographer that took staged pictures.
Yeah.
So, like, I didn't want all the posed pictures, I wanted someone who was just able to catch moments. And we looked around. We found this girl. We went and looked at her stuff. She did our engagement pictures, and they were beautiful.
Yeah.
Like,
our favorite picture, and we'll post it on the internet every now and again. Maybe we'll I don't know how we'll do it, but maybe we'll put a little picture. I think it's on our logo on YouTube. But it's a black and white of just us snuggling up on each other. And she took that picture.
it was
perfect.
She took beautiful pictures. And so they're at the wedding, everything was great, and then I got the proof book. So this was like back before they would post your stuff on the internet and you'd like see them the next day.
Mm-hmm.
I think people now get their pictures, they get to see them anyway almost right away. She dropped a proof book off at the house that had all like 1x2 pictures, in this nice book. And you're like supposed to look through and decide what you want to buy and what do you want an 8x10 of and what do you want in your album. And she did these beautiful wedding albums that were exactly what I wanted. Like where the pages, they weren't actual photos, but it was all like right in the page. And then she disappeared. And we never heard from her again.
All I really want is the CD or the digital file.
We never even got
We
that.
never even got that because we could have bought that for $300 from her.
Now, it's shitty business, and I have since found out that she just closed up shop, and there were other people who she left in a similar situation.
So she was an amazingly talented photographer who didn't know anything about the business side.
I don't really know why she decided to just close shop.
I
don't know why. But like I said, all I wanted was, and we got what we paid for.
Yeah, technically.
So like we paid for her to do the wedding and for the proof book, and then we were going to order, our album and all of that once we saw the pictures, and we just never had the opportunity to order more pictures. And so I ended up doing the wedding album myself. I scrapbooked it from like scanning, and you couldn't get them but so big or they would get blurry.
Yeah, plus we had pictures from people that were there, including my friend Alex, who's kind of a really good amateur photographer. She's really good at taking pictures. She took a bunch of really good pictures, and it focused a lot more on my friends because we have a lot of mutual friends that were at the wedding. But she took the 3 group shots that I thought were the best group shots.
Yeah, that's probably my biggest regret of the wedding, though, is the photographer and the way that worked out. Everything else was good. I just wish I had the opportunity to actually get real deal photos.
Yeah.
But at least we got the proof book, and we actually got to see the photos. They were beautiful. They were really, really, really beautiful. So, it wasn't a complete loss, but just disappointing.
Yeah. And we had a crasher. We actually had a wedding crasher, which I didn't think would be possible because the reception was on a military base. So, like, who's going to crash a military base post 9/11? They had the jersey walls out and everything. Like, you weren't getting in there without them knowing who you were. But he was a soldier. He was the Marine. It was actually ended up being the Marine I had to lift up a dozen times. The first night we went out on a date.
Which, if anybody's going to crash your wedding, let it be that guy.
Yeah, let it be that guy.
You think ours was bad trying to get in there. My sister had her reception at the same place, but her wedding was in October of 2001.
Oh, my God.
So when September 11th happened, we were like a month away from her wedding.
Everybody got anally probed.
And we were like, oh, my God, no one's going to be able to get on the base because, of course, all the bases were locked down. But you just had to show ID and it was okay. Yeah. So, 15 years.
15 years.
How do you think our relationship is different now from 15 years ago?
Well, I will say that with anything like that, things are different when it's new, and you're still finding out things on the daily when it's new. Now, 15 years later, we're probably not finding out a whole lot about each other.
I think we pretty much learned everything about each other that we.
But there's a warm comfort that you have now that we didn't have back then, and that was just because it's new. But now we're old pros at it, and it's like there's just a warm comfort in knowing that you're going to be there for me, and I'm going to be there for you. And it's like, great. Doesn't matter what we have to face. We're doing it together, and we'll get through it.
And we've always been really good. I'm sure that my friends have, and my family probably too, has spoken behind my back about the amount of time that we spend together. But we've always been very good at protecting our time.
Yeah.
So, like, if I'm off and he's off, I'd rather just be with him. So it's like I don't go out and do girls' nights and travel places really without him. I did a lot not a lot, but more so at the beginning.
Yeah.
But now it's just like I just don't want to be away from Kevin. So I'd rather be home sitting on the recliner next to him. And now we have gotten complacent. This is one thing that we have to we have.
Yeah. Yeah.
I brought this up earlier this week. We kind of fall into this rut of routine, and we're both very routine-oriented people, I think. You're very predictable. You tell the same jokes and the same lines over and over, and I often say, like, you need to get a new line. But we can go to bed at night. He'll be falling asleep in the chair, but he goes to bed and he turns the TV on and he's on his iPad, and I'm usually reading or on my iPad, and he'll fall asleep before me, so he'll turn his light off, and he rolls over and goes to bed. And it's been a while, and all of a sudden I was like, we don't, like, kiss each other goodnight anymore.
Yeah.
And so he was like, oh, I'm going to bed. We say goodnight and have a good night's sleep, whatever, I love you. And I was like, can I have a kiss before you go to sleep? We're just not going to do that anymore.
And I hadn't even realized it. I was like, oh, wow, you're right.
We just got complacent.
We're putting that back into the repertoire,
It sounds silly, but it's like one of those just little things. You do get just complacent and comfortable.
Yeah.
And,
there is such a thing as being too warm and comfy. You
have to still.
You gotta put effort in.
Take care to like let your partner know that you still matter. I didn't actually, because we restarted our podcast last week, and it was Valentine's Day was coming up, and Kevin was driving me to work as he normally does every day. And I said, hey, can you do me a favor? He was off. I'm like, can you stop and get a birthday card for Michael and a gift card and like a Valentine's Day card for Mom and Dad and like some sugar-free chocolates for Mom? And he's like, yeah. And I probably should pick up something for you while I'm there. And I was like, don't bother. Like, just the fact that you said it to me, I was like, oh, like, don't add it to the list of things you have to do now. You have to buy me a card.
Which I shouldn't have said it, but I was just more or less kidding around. And as soon as she said it, I was like, oh, I got to give something for Kelly, too. It's just
he said it out loud.
It's February, and during the pandemic, every day is the same,
It just had this effect on me, like...
Yeah, you were a little pissed.
I was, for a couple of days.
I didn't even pick up on that either.
Because later on that afternoon, you were like... I went and I got the stuff for your mom and for Mike, and I was looking at the cards, but you said not to get you anything, so I didn't buy you one. And I'm like...
Which I had.
Really? Really? And he's like, what? You said not to? And I'm like, of course I said not to. But, like, because you told me, oh, no, I have to buy you a card. Like, don't bother. And he's like, I'm in one of these situations where I can't win.
It's a trap!
We sat down to record our podcast that night, and I was so salty. That we were 10 minutes in, and I'm like, we need to stop this and probably start again, because I was bitching at him so much about it. And then, of course, he had, well, he says he had. He might have gone out later and done it after I gave him a ration of shit. I don't know.
I did.
It isn't even about the thing. It's like the thought.
Yeah.
And so the thought shouldn't be. And then your response was... Oh, well, go and buy that shirt you want on, QVC or whatever. Well, the thing is, like, I don't want to go buy it for myself. I can do that.
Yeah.
And I do. I want you to think, what was she like?
Right.
And Valentine's Day, we've never really done much on Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Because it's my brother's birthday, and our anniversary is so soon after. It's just, we've never really celebrated Valentine's Day.
Not really, no.
But,
I remember, though, to go back to the weekend that your sister was here, when I was gonna pop the question, Valentine's Day, we went to Cheeseburger in Paradise for Mike's birthday, and I was working, and at the time I wasn't working from home, so I was in Chesapeake, and I was gonna meet y'all there. Mm-hmm. And I remember this. I had a bag that I had already bought for you with a card and a little something in it, because it was Valentine's Day, and I had something for Mike, and you had, for half a second, thought I was giving you the ring then.
It was Valentine's Day.
Yeah, but that was just Valentine's Day. And then I think that was the moment when you realized, this fucker's really going to do it at a circus. God,
well, and then there was a time you brought the gift to me at school that was not school appropriate and told me, don't open that up all the way here. Because, like what kind of, what's going on here? What, Christmas this year? And I know it's been a rough year.
Watch me pull a rabbit out of the hat.
Literally, I ordered and wrapped most of my own gifts, most of them.
I think that was for your birthday.
I think we need to like make more of an effort to be thoughtful in that way toward. We've gotten real complacent.
Yeah.
We were like, oh here, happy birthday 2 months in advance because you need a new iPad. Yeah, happy birthday. I think we need to make more of an effort in that way.
But beyond that, the good stuff is the good stuff. You know, we have zero doubt that we're there for each other.
And it is nice to know that there's a person that will do anything you need that person to do.
And we still have the car. You know, we've talked about this before, but whenever we're in the car, particularly if it's just me and you, that's the best time. Because it's really the only time we have together where it's just the two of us is in the car. So we do it every morning, you know, taking you to work. And we'll have a little bit more time together because I have the weekends off. I won't be able to pick you up from work because I'll be working, but still, you know, we got that morning time. And, you know, we'll always have the car. I don't care where we're going. You know, when we say, okay, let's take a couple of days and we'll go somewhere for a weekend, I'm down for it. Doesn't matter where we go. I'm super down for it.
It's usually me that's not down for it.
Yeah.
Especially as I've gotten older. I really just want to stay close to home.
Yeah. Yeah, but, you know, I wouldn't mind going back to Tennessee again.
I know.
We can go to Pigeon Forge or Gatlinburg or Knoxville.
Yeah, we could. We got to get back in shape.
We do. That's a big thing, too.
Yeah.
'Cause
not that I was ever in shape, but I need to get out of this, whatever shape this is.
We were both in really good shape a while.
I was never in really good shape, Kevin.
Before your gallbladder, we had lost a bunch of weight. We were in the gym 3 times a week. We were on a good track.
We were on a good track. I was not in good shape.
Yeah, you were in much better shape than we are now.
100%.
Yeah.
Damn gallbladder.
So.
So, all right. Anyway, look, we've been talking for 46 minutes.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, so all in all, our wedding was great. Marriage is greater.
Still good, knock on wood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for just jinxing us.
Shit.
All right, guys. So we're going to come back with some do-it-yourself therapy. Or a couple's questions. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Do yourself therapy.
All right. We'll be back in a bit.
Table Topics Therapy Edition.
Do-it-yourself
therapy.
Therapy.
Which this is turning out to be my favorite box.
Yeah, when we just talked a little bit ago about how you just know everything about the other person, but I've learned new things about you through this.
Yeah.
All right, so the first question is it possible or impossible to live in the present moment?
No, it's very possible because you're there, you're living it. So... I mean, yeah. I mean, you. I guess what they're saying is, can you fully enjoy where you're at in any moment? And the quick answer to that is yeah.
Yeah, I mean, obviously. I wouldn't say it's impossible.
I'm the type to try not to dwell on the past, and as far as the future goes, when I start thinking about the future, I look at like the state of things, and I'm almost like your dad, where I'm thinking that how bad it was going to turn out. And I try to find things that make me think, well, this makes me hopeful, or this makes me hopeful. But as far as, for the most part, yeah, I live in the present, because that's where we're at.
Yeah, like I said, I don't think it's impossible to live in the present moment. People do it all the time.
Yeah, everybody lives in the present.
Yeah,
that's how time works.
All right, well, that was an easy one.
What color is the sky? No. In a movie about your life, who would play your mother? Wow.
Holy moly.
Who would play your mom?
Wow. I don't know if I can safely answer this question. In a movie about my life, who would play my mother? Wow, that's a tough one. I don't know. Sally Field.
Wow. Really? Okay.
I mean...
It's hard. I mean, there's no actor trash. And I'm trying to think for my mom, too, and I got nothing.
I think about her in Forrest Gump, where she just did what she had to do for her kids. And
that's not what you want to talk about.
No, but like she was always like supportive and making sure things were done, and you know the kids had what they needed. And then I think about her in Steel Magnolias, where she went did very protective. I have to say Sally Field.
Yeah, I got nothing. I can't think of any like mother figure out there that was like my mom, because my mom was My mom was not an average person. She was fierce and she was funny and she was super generous, but she could throw down and hold a grudge and had no problem with holding a grudge. And she loved bingo and grandkids and just laughing and not having hang-ups. And, there's no actress out there like that. So I got nothing.
Okay. Legit.
Mm-hmm.
What's the biggest lie you told as a child?
I suck at lying.
He does suck at lying.
I'm so bad at it. I can't think of one.
His gut instinct is to just tell you what he thinks.
Yeah.
And so lying is difficult for Kevin.
Yeah.
You can kind of see it on his face.
I really got nothing.
Even as a kid?
I can't think of anything. Well, I was really shy as a kid, and I didn't really go anywhere or do anything. So it wasn't like I was out there causing trouble. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Let a friend of mine drive my car one time. We almost killed a person. I don't know if I was very honest about that right up front. But I didn't really lie. No, the one time I did something I would have wanted to lie about, I got caught red-handed on it. So. Yeah. Lying not my strong suit either.
Is your glass half empty or half full?
Depends on the day. Today at 2 o'clock it was half empty. Like almost completely bone dry. But then there are these little moments of the day that make it better. Like, so the kids were all dressed, the construction, they were a construction crew today. And they were doing this one task called Write the Room, or Count the Room, where they had to walk around. There were pictures of different construction tools that had, like, objects they had to count, and then they had to write the number on their sheet. So they had to find the matching picture, count the number, write it on their sheet. And there were 20 of them. They just had to go around the room looking for all of them. And so I was just sitting on the counters there walking around, and one little girl walked in front of me. She goes, "I want to quit this job." It was the funniest thing. At moments like that, it's half full. In life in general, I have to say half full.
Yeah, well, that's good.
Yeah.
I struggle with this because I feel like I'm a realist. Like there was a meme I saw, and I love this meme. It's 3 glasses, and they're all filled halfway with a yellow liquid. One of them says, "I'm half empty." The other one says, "Well, I'm half full." And the third one says, "I think this is piss." So that just strikes me as funny. I'm a realist. I do try to find the optimism in things, I think. I clearly see the bad and the pessimist side of things, and I can understand it. But I still try to find the upside. So, you look at the news now, and there's not a whole lot of upside in the news. But you know what? There's a bunch of truckers up there in Canada fighting for freedom. And a tyrannical government that's going to do everything they can to shut them down. But those guys are still staying there, sitting there in their trucks, holding on to the line. And God bless them. So.
This message brought to you by Truckers United.
Truckers. Trucker fuckers.
I would have to say you're always an optimist.
Yeah?
Yeah. I mean, you never have a, "oh, we're totally screwed" attitude. You kind of are always just like, well, unless you get on a rant. What movie always makes you sad or even cry?
Ooh. Wow. Marley and Me hit me hard.
That's the one I was going to say. That was.
I'll tell you what, though. The last time I actually shed a tear at a movie, and this is going to sound silly, but it was Captain Marvel. And it wasn't because of Captain Marvel. It was the first movie that was released after Stan Lee's death. And the, beginning of the film, they were doing the Marvel logo where they have all the images of the different characters that are going to be in the movie. Well, they replaced all of them with images from Stan's cameos in the different Marvel movies. And that freaking hit me in the face. I swear to God, I started like tearing up in the theater. So there was that.
Marley and Me was rough.
Yeah.
That if you're a dog lover, that was a tough one to watch.
Yeah.
Gut wrenching. A sad movie. I'm not a big sad movie fan, so I don't know.
You know, the other one that affected me, the first time I saw Black Hawk Down at a theater, me and Brian Compton, I want to say Richard was with us. We were just, let's go see this movie. Brian had heard it was great. And at the time, I really wasn't interested in seeing any type of war movie. But I said, sure, I'll go. What the hell? And it ended up being one of my favorite movies just because you get a real appreciation for what those guys do when they're in those situations. And they're, you know, it was a horrible, horrible situation they were put in, but they stepped up because they were stepping up for the guy next to them.
Well, it's like Lone Survivor.
Yeah.
Extremely difficult to watch.
It's very difficult to watch. Yeah. So I guess if you're looking for an emotional response, those are the two movies that hit me the hardest. Up. Oh, God damn. They hit you in the face right at the beginning.
Up was terribly sad right at the beginning, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. All right.
Let's see. Who do you know that needs to get out of therapy? Who do you know that needs to get out of therapy? What? That doesn't read right.
Who do you know that needs to get out of therapy? I don't know anybody who needs to get out of therapy.
Yeah, that's stupid.
That's a dumb question. Maybe who needs to get therapy, but I wouldn't say that.
God damn it, Box.
There's always that one bad apple.
Yeah.
All right, you ready?
Sure.
What embarrassing moment has stuck with you over the years?
Well, I shit on myself several times. I talk about our wedding. When we were standing up there, there was a lighting of a candle situation where I guess it's a Catholic thing where you light the candle and then you light
a unity candle.
Yeah.
It's not a Catholic thing.
Oh, wow. When she lights my candle, she starts dumping hot wax right on my hand. And it was all I could do not to just start screaming obscenities right there in the church.
In the altar.
But I was just like, oh!
Father Robert, I'm like, I was right about you.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I guess.
Okay, my most embarrassing moment.
Mm-hmm.
I was teaching. It was my first or second year of teaching. And we had an assembly in the cafeteria. And they had, of course, the kids all sit on the floor, and then they put these metal folding chairs up for the teachers to sit in. And we went in. There were parents and everything there. I can't remember what the assembly was, but anyway. Kids all get on the floor, and I sat in the chair, and whether it was me and my size or this chair was just had seen better days, but it completely just collapsed. It was horrifying. Probably my most embarrassing moment ever.
I just figured out one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. This is when I was working at Canon. I was very good at what I did. And one day, all of the higher-ups were going into a meeting. So basically, they had somebody who was walking the floor as a, supervisor, and they asked me to do that, and I was like, sure, I've done it before. Just walk around if anybody needs anything. All the supervisors or whatever are in the meeting, so I take care of whatever it is that needs to be done. Well, next thing I know, they got people coming. Like they sent one of the managers out, and they said, we really need you to come into this meeting. I'm like, really? I'm out here doing this. We'll get somebody else. We need you to come in here. And I'm like, all right, well, sure. I'll go in there. And it's basically everybody that's above me at Canon, including my buddy Chuck. If you're watching, buddy, I know you remember this. So I just sit myself in this corner because I shouldn't even be here. I don't know why I'm here. They start announcing this award they were giving out, and called the Canon Spirit Award. Now, it sounds great. It's really a great honor because you have exemplified Canon values and blah, 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 and all this stuff. But the last three people that won it had horrible shit happen to them. Like one of them had an almost near fatal heart attack in his yard. And the guy before that got in a car accident and couldn't play golf for like a year. And the guy before that, some horrible shit. He got fired for something. I mean, horrible shit was happening to these people as they got it. So they start talking about that, and I'm like, oh shit, they're gonna give me this thing. I don't want this thing. This thing's cursed. So then they said, and the people that were nominated is, and he says, Tony blah blah blah. I don't want to say his full name. He got nominated. I'm like, oh great, jeez, that's a bullet dodged. So he walks up and he's shaking hands and all this, and and he backs away, and the president of the company looks up and he says, and also Kevin Rose. And the room got quiet, and they all turned, and everybody was looking at me, and I said, oh shit. Clearly, audibly, oh shit. And
you're wondering why you had trouble moving up the chain of.
Well, at the same time, there was these people there from like PeopleSoft that were the software that we were getting ready to use, and they had at the time this big chart with people's pictures on it of the hierarchy. And this lady who's been working with me, I was working with them to on the release, and she was looking at the chart. She says, "Where are you at on this chart?" After we just had this conversation, I was like giving her the good business, and I'm looking at her like, I work for her. And then I just walked away because I'm like, nobody, I'm just a fucking peon. Oh, good times.
All right, what's your question?
Nope, next. Let's keep doing that upside down. If you had 3 minutes, what one question would you ask Sigmund Freud?
I would have nothing to ask Sigmund Freud. Your questions suck.
I know.
What would you ask him?
Where'd he get all the coke?
Okay.
Sigmund Freud, I'm not making that up. Sigmund Freud prescribed cocaine like it was candy.
Well, it used to be almost like candy. They put it in drinks. They put it in Coca-Cola.
And then his wife died of a cocaine overdose, and they realized, hey, shit, I need to get into something else.
Yeah, it was not an illegal drug at the beginning.
Yeah.
All right. What do you say that sounds just like your mother or father?
Ooh.
Oh, I know this one.
There's so many things, particularly with my dad. He used to have sayings that he did all the time, like the handle it, or
better out than in.
Better out than in. That's one of my favorites because I fart. And it was using your kidneys, which he meant, his brains. He pointed his head. I'm using my kidneys.
Yeah, but you don't say those things.
No, I don't say all those.
When you start, you have a Boston accent, and I don't know. You must have just got it from being around them. Mm-hmm. But you'll say water or pitcha. I'm going to go take some pitches. Like, that'll slip out every now and then with you.
I had kind of a weird upbringing because I do have a lot of the mixture of language there. So, But
it's only when you're talking with your family or you're around your family.
Yeah.
Or you've just been speaking with them that you have that. It comes out. It's funny. All right.
Oh, last one.
Oh, what do I say? Wait a minute. That's like my mother or father? I don't know. My mom has this phrase that she would say, like you'd say, oh, so-and-so was really pissed about that. And she'd say, well, you have a lifetime to get glad. And I say that sometimes. You have a lifetime to get glad.
I like the one that your dad uses. Is like, I guess we'll just be sitting here with our dick fist.
That was an accident, he said one time, that just turned out to be really funny. Dad has lots of funny ones.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
Do you do a good job
of seizing
the day?
No.
Probably not. I wouldn't say either one of us are great at it. We're not getting up in the morning saying, let's set the world on fire and make $1 million. No. We're just...
I'm just like, let's just get home and get back to bed.
But you know what? Seizing the day can mean a lot of different things to a lot of different people. The pursuit of happiness does not mean that you're out there making $1 million a day.
No, I think seizing the day is you're taking advantage of whatever opportunity. And it doesn't have to be about making money.
No.
You could go for a hike up a mountain and get to the top, and that could be seizing the day. Yeah. Like you took advantage of your day and did something worthwhile. I don't feel like I'm good at that. In fact, I know I'm not good at that.
Yeah, well, and the thing of it is, the definition of worthwhile is a sliding scale on a daily for everybody.
Pretty much everything's more worthwhile than sitting on recliner coloring pictures on your iPad for 2 or 3 hours.
Yeah, but you're petting your puppy. You're making the puppy girl very happy.
I guess. I'm not good at seizing the day.
Yeah.
No.
All right,
No,
well.
and we talked
Go ahead.
recently about, like, depression.
Mm-hmm.
And I do feel like that's been creeping in the last few weeks. And maybe it's a seasonal thing.
I think we need to
Exercise more.
get rid of all this candy and exercise and start eating right. It's really...
Get rid of all what candy? All this candy? We should just get rid of all this candy?
Yeah. I honestly think we just need to get back on the ball because it's been, I know when my spiral started and it's just, I need to stop spiraling and get back on the horse. So that's all it is to
I'm ready for the pandemic to be over. I'm ready for the hate to stop. I'm ready for all of the political maneuvering, and I just want people to, like, not be shitty all the time, and they're shitty all the time.
Yeah.
I can't watch the news anymore. And then everyone's got such a everyone's opinions are valid, but they have such strong beliefs in their opinion that you are just flat wrong if you don't agree with them exactly. And we're going into some territory where it's just scary. Like, just let people share their opinion. If you don't like it, be quiet. Do what you know is right in your heart. But people lately are just miserable.
Yeah.
I'm tired of miserable people. And I'm turning into a miserable person.
Yeah.
I feel like that's part of it. Like, I get caught up in them. I just want to be carefree about shit again. That's what I want.
Yeah. Well, that's where I'm thinking we start getting healthier. We start traveling. We're doing stuff.
No, but I have to go to the gym in a pandemic.
Well, we bust out the bike and start doing the reclining bike, the recliner. I'll pull it out tomorrow and put it in the living room.
Yeah.
So that'll make Mom happy. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But either way.
All right, guys.
Oh, one last thing. We were going to promote on Facebook.
We did forget about this.
The show. We have a Facebook page now. The Facebook page is still there, but we tried to pay them to promote
boost
our
the
show.
ad. We tried to
show.
boost the post. And I got an email from Meta, who owns Facebook now, saying that our ad account had been disabled because we don't follow community standards. And I honestly, at the bottom where it's like you're just going to click, I agree. I tried to read that. I don't understand it. You have to be a lawyer to understand it.
And they don't.
And I thought, I'm not selling anything. I'm not, raising money. I'm not doing anything like that. I'm just promoting a free podcast from 2 random people who literally make no dent in the world. And just maybe somebody would want to listen. And so here we are. And we don't follow their community standards. So we're going to share it. And we're going to keep sharing it. If you guys could see that we're sharing from Coming Up Rose's page, that's where we're going to put all the YouTube and Spotify links. And then we will share on our Facebook page that post. Mm-hmm. If you could share it, join our page. Just click like or follow. You don't even have to listen. Click like or follow, and then maybe give us a share every now and then.
Like, share, comment. We love comments. I've been reading the comments from the prior episodes. Comments are always welcome. I love reading them.
You leave comments on our page, too.
And leave comments on our page.
Yep.
Special shout out, your mom and dad were in the Logan family Zoom, and I got some good encouragement from Aunt Pat and Ann, who enjoy the YouTube because she likes seeing our faces and our expressions. And that's good. So here's our face.
She likes when I roll my eyes at you.
Yeah, she does. She loves that. Love seeing you guys. Love talking to any of the fans out there. We truly appreciate you guys watching and doing all that.
This is our weekly therapy.
Yeah. So like, comment, share, Cash App, $K-Rose VA.
Don't say that. Facebook will discontinue us completely.
True that.
We'll be like Trump. We'll be banned off of Facebook.
Yeah.
We'll have to. Hopefully, we can stick it
We'll
out
be
on
worse than
Spotify.
Joe Rogan. Yeah.
All right, y'all. Have a good week. We'll see you next week.
Bye, everybody.